So this is the world famous now.
Yeah, it is
Atlas Stream Tank.
Yeah, we're actually, this is just a possibility, but we are actually considering redoing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Partly because I think it's fun to do and it's fun to change it, and it can be such a dynamic tank that there is a lot of different things that we can do with it. And as much as we love the plants, we have a big issue with like plant parasites in here. If you see on this, there's like aphids or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then on this we get mealybug. Yeah, if anyone's got any ideas as to some fish-safe mealybug killer, I'd love to hear it. But the idea is almost to just strip it of plants and just have it as like a full rockscape, so you can actually see the fish that are in there a little bit better.
I feel like the plants just took over.
The plants have taken over, and it's very much due for a big prune.
Yeah.
We prune a lot of this every couple of months. Gives you a bit more vision, but then it just grows so fast. There's still a bunch of hill stream loaches in here. There's not as many as there once was. We did have an issue about a year ago where we used the net from another tank and we introduced a bit of a bacterial infection in here, and I lost probably 50% of the hill stream loaches. Luckily, the blue phantoms are still in here. They're getting pretty big. I don't know, did you see them when you were here?
No, but I remember you added them.
Yeah, so they were, we put them in really tiny, and they're probably like around this size. I still only see them every now and then, so I don't know how many are actually in here. I don't know what sexes we've got, but hopefully one day we just see babies at some point. But yeah, it's growing in really well. There is some new fish in here now. There's like your albino royal whips, which are breeding, so there is some babies in there. There's a lot of different whiptails in there. There's a lot of Stiphodon gobies, like your cling gobies. There's rabbit snails breeding in here. Hillstream loaches still breeding. The sumo loaches are breeding in here. Hundreds of thousands of shrimp, but yeah.
So how big is the tank?
It's 12 foot long, which is as long as we could get a piece of glass without going hideously expensive. It's 4 foot wide and it's 1.5 foot tall.
Yeah.
It is 1.5 foot tall, the whole length of it, even though it is on a slope. But yeah, it's an optical illusion almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it is sloped, so.
Yeah, so the stand is like 150 mil taller at one end.
Yeah.
The bottom base is still flat, but yeah, the top goes out.
And the original idea was to be based off, is it the Panta Rye?
Yeah, the Panta Rye in Germany. I still would love to go there and see that tank, because that is very much the inspiration for this. Theirs is a little bit different in that theirs is just like a full, it's to show off the pumps that they sell really. So it is just like a full torrential current going down, which I would love, but finding those pumps here is sort of impossible. And
it's still putting a bit through, like you can see the...
Everything does get a bit of a lean. We had to swap the pumps since the last time you came. We had J-Bow pumps on it, which were 20,000 litre an hour, and we had 6. Now we have Fluval Cs, which are like 13,000 an hour. So it's running at almost 50% of what it once was. And I'm not entirely happy with that, because it's almost like just a little bit of a stagnant lagoon now. Whereas, you do still get some flow, but not nearly enough.
I feel like maybe when it, like, I mean, I love the way it looks. The planted look is like really, really cool. And I think it's just like shows you how the power of the plants, like just taking over. Like,
it is also very easy. It's not like we don't really fertilize it purely because I'm just slack and I forget to. There's no soil in there. There's no, there's nothing that you would really consider necessary for a planted tank. There's no CO2 or anything. It's just very easy to grow plants that are growing in 2 centimeters of gravel. And that's about it. Gravel that came from the creek too. So it's, none of
How much gravel did you put in here?
A ute tray full.
A ute,
There's probably, I don't know, a few 100 kilos.
So it comes over here, right? This is all the outlet. And then the flow here is quite heavy compared. I mean, look, you got the whiptail sitting in it.
That's sort of like our favorite area. That's where I feed them too. So a lot of the fish will sit here. Use a bit of Dimax algae wafer. Yeah. It's good stuff. Smells very garlicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see all the fish will sort of start to come out.
Oh yeah, you can see some Stiphodons and stuff.
Stiphodon are really cool. That could be a challenging fish for you to breed.
I think they're really, really tricky, aren't they? I don't know if anyone's done it.
They have a larval stage.
Yeah.
And they need salt water to actually like raise themselves.
Yeah.
So difficult, but not impossible.
Yeah, you can see these guys are smashing it.
Yeah. They sit there all day just waiting for the pellets. There's Borneo suckers in there that eat it. There's like 3 or 4 different types of Borneo suckers. There's probably 3 or 4 different species of Stiphodon in there. That's like your red neon or your Stiphodon anniae.
That one that I'm on right now?
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're really
awesome.
amazing.
Oh, he's gone now. And then there you go. You can see a
Hillstream
Hillstream loach.
loach, yeah.
Yeah, I love this part of the tank. It's sick.
Yeah, with the proper current through it.
Yeah, I feel like it does. I mean, it's sick, but like I think obviously all these plants are obviously blocking that flow that comes through.
So like if it's full rock, hopefully the whole tank would be like that almost, which
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's fish in here that just live in the middle of it, so you never see them.
Yeah.
There's like Siamese algae and eaters in here that are like that big, and yeah, I see them once every now and then just to remind me that they're in here. I think they do decimate the baby Hillstream loach stocks,
Probably.
but yeah, it's very hard to catch fish out of here, as you can imagine.
So this obviously creates all the Hillstream loaches you sell.
No, it was at one point when we had over 100 adults in here, it was. But since the bacterial outbreak, we haven't really got it up to spec again. We buy a lot of our juvenile Hillstream loaches from a local breeder now.
Yeah. Yeah, they take so long to grow the babies, I've noticed.
Yeah, we've got a crazy breeder that we buy them off, and I think he's only got like 5 or 6 adults, and we'll be buying 60 to 100 every couple of months off him.
Yeah, they're just a hard work fish. I had to like switch them tank to tank. So do you want to tell us, so you got obviously terrestrial plants coming out of the top. Do you know the species that you got in here?
So this is just literally like a fig. I don't actually know exactly. It might be like a strangler fig or something. This came out of one of our customers' gutters.
Oh, okay.
He brought it in. This is hygrophila, so this is like a full aquatic plant that you would normally see in an aquarium.
Yeah.
It just grows a lot differently when it's immersed. You've got climbing fig, your ficus, there's ferns. I think this is maidenhair fern. There is a big variegated elephant ear in there as well.
This big boy?
It's gotten a little bit big. It keeps getting singed by the lights because it just grows too close to the light. So that's going to have to come out, but maybe a smaller one will go in.
What lights are these?
These are Chihiros Slim. No, sorry, these are Chihiros Standards. That's the light that we really push in store. We really love them. They're good lights. You can adjust all the color of them and everything. Obviously, we've just got it on a daytime color, but they turn themselves on, turn themselves off. It has like a ramp up, ramp down, so it feels like it's late afternoon when it's late afternoon, and same for the morning.
This tank's like really like the heart of the store.
Yeah, it's fully in the middle of the shop. When we took the shop over, there was just a big coral tank, but I'm not a coral guy, so you know, it's a planted tank now.
Well, have you ever bred these ones, the long nose?
So when we got them as a trio, but I think they were all the same sex, so they've never bred in there. There is also common whips in there, and we did put a juvenile chameleon whip in here about 2 years ago, and I haven't seen it since. Yeah. So I don't believe it's still in there, but I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
I think there's a whiptail on eggs up there too, or there was.
Where does it normally sit?
Here are the eggs.
Oh yeah.
He's gone over to eat. He's a bit of a lazy dad.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah,
isn't that so cool? You can see like the little embryos inside.
Yeah, so we wait until the day that they're hatching, and then I'll scrape them off into a net and put them in a breeder box.
Yeah, like this one.
So there's some juveniles in there because he has a batch probably every week and a half. So yeah, when we used to leave them in the river tank, they would grow up and we just harvest them out of there when they're of size. But lately, something has been eating them. There's
eating the eggs,
eating babies.
Oh no!
So I don't know what. There's no carnivorous fish in there really.
Yeah.
Or nothing that is really a super predator. So I think one of the herbivorous fish has decided that they can eat them. And so when I leave them in there, I get barely any. So I have to put them in the breeder box until they're of a certain size, and then we release them back into the...
It's definitely getting the river look though.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, I'd love to have something like this size.
You can do it.
Yeah. I mean, can we talk about costs? Or is that...
Yeah, I think it probably costs us somewhere in the vicinity of like 25 grand.
For the setup?
Something like that. The guy that scaped it originally is a friend of mine, and I flew him out from Perth to scape it as well, so that was a bit of a cost. But yeah, tank stand, there's a sand filter on it.
Can we see it, actually?
Yeah. So this is your pumps.
Yep.
These are your fluvial Cs.
Those are the fluvial Cs.
Yeah,
so
it's a bit of a dodgy setup for them because it was made for the J-bows, which had different fittings and everything.
Yeah.
And we swapped it all out over one day, so it was done a bit of a rush job.
So the water comes in through these bad boys?
Yeah, so it overflows down there, goes into the pumps, then rushes all the way back up to, I know that's a chiller that we have on it because the pump's heated up a bit.
Oh, really? And it's still 27 degrees?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's warm.
Yeah.
With the J bows, it was sitting at about 32.
Yeah, wow.
So it's cooler now.
Could have had a separate pleco tank.
Yeah. Well, the plecos, I guess the whiptails like it.
Yeah.
This is a sand filter. So one of those pumps goes through this sand filter. The other 4 just go straight back into the weir.
Okay, so it all goes. Do all the pumps go into this one sand filter?
No,
here?
just one pump.
Just one pump goes into it.
Yeah. So even if the sand filter gets a bit clogged, it doesn't restrict the flow too
Is
much.
this just like a pool one?
Yeah, it's just a pool filter.
Yeah.
So then it's got a backflush setting. So yeah, once a month or so, we just backflush it, get all the shit out. Oh, sorry, get all the crap out.
Yeah, whatever. I swear all the time
Yeah,
too.
good. And yeah, that's basically all the maintenance. We just fill it right up as much as we can, backflush it down. That's about all it gets.
Yeah. How much time do you reckon it takes a week?
I don't even look at it every week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, super easy now.
Yeah, it runs itself. We do algae scrape it probably once a month. It doesn't grow a huge amount of algae either, I would imagine, just because of how many plants are in there and how many algae-eating fish are in there. But yeah, the water changes are really the only maintenance it gets, and I should be fertilizing it maybe once or twice a week. But
Oh, who cares? Look at this. I mean,
It
you've
does
got
well without
such
it.
low nutrient plants, I guess,
Yeah.
that
yeah, it's all Crips and Anubias and Bucevalandra and Val and just easy stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, it's cool to see. It's definitely cool to see the evolution because I know that we can probably put up video of like what it was.
Yeah,
But you didn't change any of the scape. It's just
The
grown
scape
in.
is the same, yeah. It's just had more plants added and the plants have just grown in a lot.
Yeah.
We have done a few reshuffles of stuff, things that have, like we've had plants that have just grown way too big for it, so we've had to pull them out. Like obviously this is going to have to come out at some point, or we might just bonsai it.
Yeah,
Keep it
that'd be
small.
really cool.
This is going to have to come out soon. But yeah, when we take it out, we'll just replace it with something else little and let it grow out in there.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to purchase a large elephant ear,
come
and
you
see
know where
me.
to get it. So you reckon this might be the last time we see the river tank like this on video?
Possibly. It depends on whether I pull my thumb out or not. And actually
It's a
do it.
huge job.
It's a massive job.
Yeah.
And it's going to look kind of crappy for a little while. So maybe when I'm ready for that.
But you reckon just rip all the plants out?
I think we might pull everything out. Wood, plants, rocks. And just redo the whole
Reset.
thing.
Yeah.
I want to take a lot of the wood out and just have rocks and big rocks too. So you get these big like smooth surfaces for all your hill strands
that'd be
and
sick.
siphodons to live on.
Have you thought about any? Because I noticed that there's not really any like swimming species. Like everything's.
We have had them before. I think there's one glow light Danio in here. We had glow lights in here. We've had splashing tetras in here. We've had a few. I think we had hatchet fish in here at one point.
Does the flow burn them out?
I think that's all right because there are still areas. I think if they get too close to the overflows, they actually get stuck on the overflows.
Okay.
And also, I just don't think they're compatible with baby fish. I think most of those like free swimming fish will eat young fish.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that lives in here is an algae eating fish. So it's really aimed at like, I want things to breed in there.
Yeah.
The Danios were never really breeding in there. So, you know, same thing. There was like 20 in there and you'd see them for like a second and then they'd be gone. I think if we give up breeding stuff in there, there'd be a lot of cool stuff we could put in. I would like to put some other cool plecos in there and stuff. There's a royal pleco in there, which you rarely ever see, but he is growing pretty big too. And they're starting to annihilate the wood too. A lot of the pieces of wood are breaking apart and stuff because they're just getting demolished by plecos in the middle of the night. But yeah, it might change. I mean, even, you know, in a few months like this, it'll look completely different. When we hack it back like we do.
What are the most common questions you kind of get about this tank? That anything that viewers might be watching and I'm like missing out
I
asking?
get, what are those little red fish, which is always the siphodon?
Yep.
What type of Borneo suckers are these?
What type are they?
There's like 4 or 5 types. There's bluefins, Bloody Marys, species SKO2.
And none of them breed in there?
So Borneos, I think, are a little bit harder to breed. I think they've only been bred a few times. I think that's probably to do with just water parameters, that they're a bit pickier than hillstream loaches.
Sure.
There's 2 or 3 hillstream loach species in here as well. There's like your
Lineata.
spotteds. Yeah, the lineata, there's your spotteds, and there's marmorata, I think, which has a bit of like a zigzag on the
And
back.
they all breed?
I've never seen babies of any of them except for the lineata.
Okay.
I don't know if they hybridize. They could be hybridizing. It's really hard to tell on juveniles, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's enough marmorata in here for there to be opposite sexes. I think there's like 3 or 4 in there.
Sure.
We do have a listing of all of the fish species that are in there.
That's cool.
Some of those may or may not be in there still, but they were at some point.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting me film
No
it
worries.
again and have a look. And yeah, I can't wait to see the how this tank evolves, and maybe we can have a chat and you can help me set up mine if I ever set up something like
Please?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, and thanks for the fish too. So
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Good luck with them.